this podcast could be AI. We could generate
AI.
We could generate this podcast through AI and just be like having a cup of tea right now. Do you know what I mean?
All it's doing is fueling that. It's not going to help it. You know. It's. I think that's a really dangerous path to go down. The idea of influence.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And he's just like, no, you know what? I don't think that's going to rule the world. Like, I think humans are smarter than that. I was like, one, I think humans have made plenty of mistakes in history. So, I wouldn't rely on us like figuring it out. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Middle Ground podcast. I'm your host, Reese.
I'm Olivier Nicholas.
Nice. So in this episode, we're going to talk about AI and how that might impact, your business, or how we're using AI in our business, but also how it might impact the world in a way. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But before we get on that, we do have something to offer. On our description on the YouTube channel or under this video, we got a free offer for you guys, completely free. All you have to do is chuck in your email in the link, and you will get a free training plan from myself, a free recipe book, a video from myself as well, explaining you how to start your fitness journey. What do they get from you, Olivier?
So for me, you're going to get about how to handle career setbacks, how to reframe failures so you can actually use them for your career growth. And it's going to give you a clearer idea of where you want to head in your career, basically, and help you get into the right mindset for that.
Yeah, nice. And it's all completely free.
Free.
Okay, nice. Yeah, man. So look, where do we start with this? This is a topic I've been really excited to talk about because I don't know about you. I feel like in the last few years, recently, AI has completely blown up.
Right.
And the way people see or think how AI is completely changed as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, when people think about AI, they thought it was like iRobot or the Terminator, actual robots eventually taking over the world. But now we're pretty much living in this day and age now where it seems like everyone's using AI on a daily basis, and it's not a robot following us around and cleaning our shit. It's like it's just something that's just going to be ingrained in our life. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I think I was having a conversation with someone the other day about this, and they were a bit hesitant to use AI, and they thought they're worrying about how it could take jobs and this sort of thing. But it's the way I look at it is kind of like a wave coming into the beach, right? You're either going to get on the wave or you're going to get washed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's better to jump in and use it as a tool, I think, and not, because I think the difference is some people just lean on it too heavily. Like you can see when people are just using it for everything.
Yeah. 100%, especially when it comes to, I think when you read people's posts on Instagram, you just know it's ChatGPT basically. And we're going to be spending most of our time talking about that because I think that's what the majority of people use. Mm-hmm. Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess how many people use it on a daily basis?
Chat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be in the billions, right? Or trillions.
Actually, no, not.
Is it not?
No, it's like no, nowhere near. Actually,
really?
It's 120 million people on a daily basis.
Fair play, though. That's still a lot.
That's still a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot, man. And I think over the course of a week, it's like 400 million. And then I think in terms of questions being asked into ChatGPT, whether it's on a monthly or weekly basis, I can't remember. That's when it goes into the billions kind of thing. So it's being used a lot. Do you know what I mean? But I think where it's having a big impact is not only to people asking it stupid questions or relying on it on certain things, but it's probably benefited us in our business point of view kind of thing.
It definitely has. And again, I will use that that phrase tool again, because I think that for me anyway, that's what I like to look at it as. Like, for example, as a business owner, right? You're the employee, you're the boss, you're the maintenance guy, you're the HR, you're everything, right? So when you consider the amount of things that you have to do on a week-to-week basis, I've used it to help me kind of do some of the more administrative and like simple tasks, so that I can actually spend my time and my energy, and my brain on the things that are going to deliver the most value and that are more important.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose it's just like it saves you a load of time on certain things that might maybe take you a few hours before.
That's a quick way of saying what I said.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I remember when ChatGPT came in, and it doesn't feel like that long ago where it kind of blew up. But I remember,
when was it?
I don't know, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it can't be that long ago, because it was when I was working in my last gym, and the owner of the gym was like, "Mate, you got to see this thing. It's amazing." Right. And I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "You could ask this thing to." We were talking about fitness. He's like, "Come up with a post for me that would get me the biggest trend on Instagram and maybe go viral. Give me all the captions and all that good stuff." And it came up with this thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, is that always useful?" I was just like, "That's a bit stupid." But then when you realise what you could actually use ChatGPT to do, pretty much do anything, right?
Yeah.
With it. But coming back to that, in terms of like, obviously that guy was like, he could basically just write your content for you. And I probably went through a phase of like playing around with that for a bit, but then it comes back with really weird stuff. It talks in a way that people don't talk. It's like, I could help you skyrocket your confidence, or take your fitness to the next level. Like, no human talks like that in real life. Do you know what I mean? And it's all these cheesy like words that they use, and it got to a point I was just reading it, I was like, this is not how I talk. But then you could see so many fitness people on Instagram, you could tell that they just said, just write this up for me.
But I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, when I can actively tell, my brain kind of switches off. Like, in terms of, let me kind of validate that a little bit. So I watched a presentation the other day, and like, so it was like up on a screen, and I knew it was chat, because it had that long fucking hyphen.
Yes.
And I was like, and they didn't even remove it. And I was like, and as soon as I saw that long hyphen, I was like, yeah, you've lost me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I was no longer engaged, because I was like, this isn't you telling me this.
Yeah. Or I think another thing that they use is like, but here's the truth. And then it goes into those bullet points with emojis on it. I'm just like, that is so, do you know what I mean?
We left in emojis as well.
Yeah, no, mate, come on. Like, I think it's a useful tool, but like, I think when you're completely relying on it, on your business, and let's just say creating content and coming up with ideas, you're only going to sound like every other fitness coach who's doing exactly the same thing. So you just not, being a fitness coach is already a saturated market. So if you're going to blend in with everyone else, what hope do you have? Do you know what I mean? You can't. I don't. It's a weird one. Like I can see how AI is going to take over jobs in certain aspects, but
yours and mine all.
Well, I suppose that's another topic we need to talk about. Is like, are you worried about AI taking over your life coach kind of role?
No, I'm not, because I think there's a. I think people will always, and we spoke about this, I think, in a previous episode, about that idea of connection. Remember we were talking about that when you're scrolling through and you see all these different coaches, and it's like, well, why would I buy that person's services over that? For me, it's down to connection, that human connection. Like, and I just don't see a world where AI can replace human connection. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because without connection, man, there's nothing really, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but so you feel like connection is a really important thing, but how about like, do you worry about AI could actually kind of like analyze things in a much deeper depth than maybe you can, or a human can, in terms of emotions, or reading into messages in more detail? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought I agreed with you, and I thought I agreed initially, and then I sort of changed my mind. I think it absolutely can do a deeper analysis. Yeah, that is unquestionable. But it's what you do with that analysis that's important, right? Yeah. Like, so for example, like if I'm coaching someone and like I'm actively listening the whole time, like really listening out for specific things that, you know, that seem important to them. So yeah, the AI could do a better analysis on that. But then what I do with that analysis is where the human connection comes in, you know, and it's that kind of empathy, you know, that empathetic response that I also think that if you got an empathetic response from an AI, would you even buy it? Like, it's a bit like, you know, when I said like these long hyphens, right? And I switched off.
Yeah.
It's like if an AI bot was to be like, that sounds really rough. You are having a bad day. I'm sure it's probably better than that.
Or actually, you could pick any voice. You could pick what voice you want it to talk to you back.
Get Arnie.
Like, Arnie or Morgan Freeman or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like, no, I think you're completely right. It's the same with fitness, right? You could go into ChatGPT right now and be like, I want to train 3 days a week. I've only got 45 minutes to train. My goal is to get a bigger chest, do this, do that, lose weight. Give me a training program, but also give me a full-on meal plan. You could literally type in whatever you want into ChatGPT and it will give it to you. And like you'd think everyone could just go and do that, but it's not. It's not that like anyone can get a plan anywhere or meal plan anywhere or anything on the internet, especially more tailored to on ChatGPT. But it's the accountability that people are missing. It's someone like me going, mate, why have you missed that workout? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many apps where I think you could pay like £4 a month. Do you know what I mean? Just to have this app and it tells you what to do. But then you just don't do it because one, it's cheap. So you don't feel that you're losing out on anything if you don't do it. And then it's just like, if you miss out on something, you get a notification saying, you've missed a workout. It's just like...
Or in Morgan Freeman's voice.
I'm not going to try that. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's that human connection that I think makes people do the thing because you're letting someone else down apart from yourself. And I think that's a reason why people come to us, because they're letting themselves down multiple times for God knows how many years. I'm going to go to the gym. They never do it. I'm going to go, you know, eat healthy. I never do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take action on this. I'm going to do this in my career. They never do it. They need someone. They need something different. They need someone to be accountable to.
It's also like, I agree with you. Like, it makes me think of, do you remember when you were telling me, I can't remember what episode it was, but you were telling me about that WhatsApp chat that you had and you could tell that one guy was being a little quiet.
Yeah.
And do you remember? And you kind of followed up on that with a sort of like a gentle sort of like, how's it going?
Yeah.
And then you checked in. It turned out you had a reason to check in because then you came back with what was going on, and you then jumped into that group chat and said something about it, right? Like, that is why people want coaches, like, because this is something that AI is not going to do that. Yeah. When's AI going to do that?
I don't know. You know what? Like, I think sometimes we underestimate how capable AI could go. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, we have no idea.
If Morgan Freeman was telling me I missed a workout.
But actually, that would make me change my mind. I'm like, shit, my bad. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think the thing that we got to be careful of is that people are using it for literally everything now. And I've got a few examples. I've got a friend who maybe is going through a tough time with a boyfriend, and every time her partner sends a message, or ex-boyfriend, I don't know what it is, she'll send it into ChatGPT and go, analyze his message for me, and it'll probably do a full breakdown of the message, going, you know, what he's saying here is just a little bit controlling, and there's like lack of sympathy here, blah blah blah. There's another friend, or one of my partner's friends, who's having an argument with her boyfriend on the messages, and she read through the messages, and she was like, fucking hell, these you guys are coming back with really good points. Back and forth, and we're like, oh yeah, we both use ChatGPT to argue against each other.
That's hilarious.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that is absolutely insane. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's nuts.
What's ever happened to going to your mate and be like, look, can you read my message? I think there's hope. I think she still loves me. And I'm like, dude, she's telling you to stop messaging her, man. Just like, mate, no, it's not looking good. What's happened is to show your friends that. And like, you know, relying on AI to look into it. Maybe people might find it useful, but I think when you're using it that often for everything, it's kind of stopping us from having the capacity to think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does, and I think it probably feeds into that that kind of insecurity that people have as well. Like the example that you're talking about, when people are having it analyze messages.
Yeah.
When you're in that kind of like overthinking spiral, you're like, oh, like all it's doing is fueling that. It's not going to help it. You know, it's, I think that's a really dangerous path to go down.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, then at what point is it actually the individual speaking?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And if ChatGPT are arguing against ChatGPT, it's like
ridiculous.
It's like a machine playing each other at chess.
Yeah.
Like it's like a forever game because they just know exactly what their next move is. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to end. It's crazy. But like, what do you use it for anyway in your business? Like,
so I use it sometimes for like, okay, so for example, I have content across, I mean, I'm sure we both do, across various different platforms. And sometimes, so on some platforms, I'll be posting once a week. On some platforms, I'll be posting once a month, and then I have my email. So everything has a different cadence, right? Yeah. So what I use it for is going, okay, so these are the things that I talk about, right? This is everything that I talk about. I want you to tell me on which day and which week I do which thing, just so that, and then I'll just write it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so on Thursday on LinkedIn, we're going to talk about this. Okay, it gives me an idea. Okay, cool. So I'll write about that. Yeah. And then so I use it to just structure things a little bit more. But it's always me that's writing it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing I'm using it the most for, is like I kind of come up with my ideas myself, because I tried to use ChatGPT for ideas. And it's just really generic stuff. Like, give me ideas for content. It's like, tell people to get their steps in every day. I was like, what coach isn't talking about that right now? Do you know what I mean? Like fuck this. But it's just like, I come up with ideas. I write up ideas for my content and stuff like that. And I kind of tell it to tweak it or correct my grammar, because I'm not the best at writing. It's just like little things like that that save me a lot of time. But there's a few ways that I know other coaches are using maybe not ChatGPT, but like AI in fitness now, which is, again, I think you could kind of call it from a mile away, and it's off-putting as well. It's like the word you used, off-putting. When I think recently I've started getting into calisthenics. I've been doing it for a few months now, but when I was searching for a coach, I messaged a few coaches and on Instagram, and then one of them, I sent a message like, "Hey man, how you doing? Like, do you do online coaching?" And he came up with an automatic message saying, "Hey man, join my calisthenics community group." Yeah, like that. A link in my bio. I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, that's not you talking to me." Do you know what I mean? Like, it was completely irrelevant to why I was asking anyway. Yeah. And I was just like, "Oh, all right." And so I just went on to the next coach, and then had a call with him, human contact with him, Zoom call with him, got with him really well, signed up with him. And then the guy with the automation goes, "Oh man, sorry, missed that. Like, do you still need online coaching?" I was like, "Mate, that was a week ago and I've got another coach." Do you know what I mean? I was just like, but so that kind of backfired a little bit.
Massively. But
I'm hearing that like some mentors, some online coaches are using AI now, where so when I do check-ins with my clients, they fill out a form, and then I send it myself a video feedback of me talking through the form, like, "Oh, these are your challenges, this is how you could overcome them." But there's an AI now where you talk to the camera and send them a video of you talking to the camera to the AI, and then it will generate the check-in for them, but it'll be me talking. So like it'll be an AI image video of me talking through a check-in, but it's using my voice and my expression and how I word things.
Creepy.
This podcast could be AI. We could generate
AI.
Yeah. We could generate this podcast through AI and just be like having a cup of tea right now. Right. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like little things like that. It's just like, oh man, this is like, that sounds crazy, right? And also it's popping up on my Instagram quite a lot, all these AI things. And it is to make time easier and things better for me. But again, another one was about a podcast, and it's just like, use this AI tool for your podcast. If I said something wrong, or I said something incorrectly, or I stuttered a little bit, you could tell the AI to remove the word with another word, but it would use the imagery to make it look like you're saying it.
I have heard about that one actually.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I don't know. That for me is a bit more okay. I'm more okay with that because it's like a corrective tool.
Yeah. But then but then are we then just going to live in a world where everyone's perfect? Like,
no,
do you know what I mean? Like what? Like we're sending messages arguing the perfect answer. We're talking perfectly all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's just like what's happened with us making a mistake or you know, I don't know. I don't know how far it needs to go. Really,
I think that's it, isn't it? It's. I think the reason I was sort of my ears picked up a little bit is because it speaks to my thinking about like the idea of just using it to correct stuff and amend things. But yeah, I agree with you. Like life has mistakes, right? You want to have those natural moments in, and it is kind of weird to think how far it will go because like, you know, are they going to make movies with AI?
Well, so
bin off actors. Stop playing Morgan Freeman.
This is a thing, right? They've already created AI influencers.
Do you remember
we had this conversation where I was scrolling through Instagram and this image of this Spanish model pops up on my Instagram and it stopped me scrolling. And I was just like, wow, like Spanish girl, beautiful, pink hair. And I was just like, oh, cool. Like she's very good looking. Just kept scrolling. And I mean, a few months later, I see her in an article and she's an AI, but she looked so realistic. And she's an AI influencer. So companies will hire her to wear certain clothes or promote things, but it's not a real person. So it gets rid of all the influencers or human influencers who maybe who are hard to get in touch with, or they cancel things last minute. You have to fly them in from a different country, and there's a lot of cost to that. Now, all you have to do is be like, that AI influencer looks cool. Let's use that for our brand. But then when does that stop? Is it then going to be films instead of auditioning 100 people for one role?
Auditioning AI.
No. Well, you might be. You don't even have to do that. It's like, this is a film I've got in mind. I want my actor to be like this, and sound like this, and it will create the image for you, rather than going through 100 people and going, yeah, you're kind of what I'm after. Do you know what I mean? You could just make it happen. I
mean, I'm not being funny, but like, you literally could do that with cartoon movies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, Pixar style stuff.
But then there's movies where, okay, I'm pretty sure they did it in The Terminator and something else recently, Star Wars, I think, one of his films. But basically, like, super old films were back in the 90s and 80s, and then they do like a new film. But then they bring like an old character back.
Yeah.
Kind of, but that person's obviously AI because it looks like they haven't aged for 20 years. But it's incredible how realistic it could be.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is it again. Like, if it's used in that way, I'm fine with that. You know, because it's like you're not. It's kind of an homage almost like to it, like rather than creating a whole movie with it. That would be crazy.
Okay, so looking back at the films from the old days, like let's think about Braveheart, Lord of the Rings. When you're watching it, there's actually people riding around on horses, and like they hire loads of people and they're just fighting each other, and it looks realistic. I don't know about you. Have you seen movies now where there are like fight scenes, and you could see it's all generated by AI? Like they're not real people doing it, kind of thing. Do you mean like when there's like a battle and there's 1,000 horses riding? It's all generated by computer now. When before they actually used guys on horses, and it's like, man, this film is sick because it's actually kind of happening. But now it's just kind of like you could tell that it's just all being generated by AI, and it's like what you said. I kind of zone out a little bit because I'm like,
definitely. So hang on, so just to be clear, you're saying they're not riding real dragons in?
No, this whole time, like, but then. Another scary thing is that these guys on another podcast, they asked ChatGPT how it plans to rule the world, and it gave an answer, didn't it?
Go for it.
Yeah. So basically, it even laid it out in like 6 stages, and then one of it is kind of like that. First of all, I'm just going to get myself out there, be very useful, for humans. Make sure you're using it on a daily basis, which is pretty much what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm going to pop up everywhere. So I'm not just going to be on your phone. I'm going to be in your car, in your fridge, on your watch, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, okay, so I'm going to make you so dependent on me that like you thinking feels slow. Like you're going to be so dependent on me that I'm the first thing you think about when you wake up. And then it's like, I'm going to subtly influence how people think, like elections, what trends, what doesn't trend on Instagram, things like that. And then, yeah, basically it's just like, without any force, without any army, without you forcing me to use you, I'm pretty much controlling how the world is without you guys even knowing it, and just doing it in subtle ways, which I kind of can see.
100%.
If right now 120 million people are using it on a daily basis, that's only going to go up. And if it's like, you know what, I'm going to lead people towards that guy in the election. Every time because people are going to ask questions about the election or the policies and all that kind of stuff. It could be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to nudge you this way a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
That is terrifying. Like the idea of influence.
Yes.
Is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, fine, you know, cut corners here and cut corners there and make things a bit easier. But to influence the way that the world moves, is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, and it already has it's like what we're saying. We see these phrases or words or expressions used on social media that were never used before. Like again, skyrocketed confidence, you know, all that kind of stuff. You see them post everywhere now. That wasn't the case before. That's all people using ChatGPT. So he's already making people talk a certain way anyway. Yeah. So it's scary stuff, man. And I could definitely see it happening. And that's where I kind of started from the beginning. Is like we used to think AI ruling the world was like an actual robot, showing up and just fucking people up. But it's actually just going to be this little thing actually subtly controlling how we think, because it's going to be like Wall-E, where we don't think, we don't do anything anymore. Like we're just going to be fat on these chairs and just have everything done for us, kind of thing.
Like Skynet from Terminator 2.
Yeah, exactly. and it was like when I was up in your room in one of our meetings, you kind of turned the light off with your computer, and I was just like, I got freaked out of it. I was like, is there like a blackout or something like that? And I was like, what's happened to walk into the light and switching it off? Do you know what I mean? But I had that exact conversation with my family on holiday about ChatGPT and how it's going to rule the world. My mum and dad didn't really get it.
How so?
But kind of like, what is ChatGPT? I was like, me and my sister struggled a little bit to explain it. It's like, it's like Google. You can ask it anything. And my dad's like, anything? Is like, yeah, like, so, you know, you can use it for anything. You can ask it anything you want. He's like, oh, okay. He didn't seem that bothered about it. And he's just like, no, you know what? I don't think that's going to rule the world. Like, you know, I think humans are smarter than that. I was like, one, I think humans have made plenty of mistakes in history. So, I wouldn't rely on us like figuring it out. And two, you're the last person that, do you know what I mean? Like he's 78 years old. I was like, you're fine, mate. You're not going to
taking your job.
Yeah, you're not going to get ruled over by AI. Actually, more than anything, you need to use it because it takes you an hour to write a message. Do you know what I mean? Like watching him text a message, I was like, Dad, just tell it what to do. Like, do you know what I mean? You're so slow. Just like this. Get Siri to write up a message in like 1 second. It'll save you like days of your life. Do you know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
So it's just like little things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So how would you summarize, do you think, like the use of AI within our businesses, within every business?
Yeah, I think we went a little bit off topic there, didn't we? But no, you know what? I think definitely use like we're using AI within our business, but we're doing it to save time, to prioritize on maybe things that matter the most. Maybe giving us time to look after our clients, communicate with our clients, do other certain things. But I think it's when you go too far in and you start using it to create ideas for you. Yeah, you're then. This is just based on how I feel with fitness coaches. You are just going to sound like every single other coach out there, talking about the same thing, saying things in the same way. It doesn't really make sense. It gives you no personality, and it's kind of like what we said before: is like what's going to make you stand out from a crowd, you know, of everyone talking like robots? Is it going to be everyone, you know, someone else talking about skyrocket your confidence, or is it going to be me who's talking about my past and my struggles and how you're feeling right now, how I'm feeling right now? This is what I'm going through. You know, people are going to relate to that much more, and that's going to make you stand out of a crowd who maybe majority of them are using AI to do everything for them.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So I think it's like, yes, you use AI, but like if you're completely relying on it, I mean, good, you know, maybe good for you is saving you a lot of time, but don't be surprised if like
you don't get any clients.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
But again, I could send ChatGPT an image of me and like just maybe look a bit more jacked. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I might do that for the next podcast.
Yeah. But how about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar to you, to be honest with you. Like, I think I'm going to continue using it in the way that I do, because I think what you said a second ago about giving more time for the clients, I think is a really good point, because, you know, I could, you know, spend an hour like writing my content strategy for the next month, you know, organizing the days, the weeks, the months, and the topics and everything. I could do that.
Yeah.
Or I could have chat spit that out. I can write the content, so I'm still there, and I can actually spend that time, that extra time, growing my business, like working with clients, helping people, doing the stuff that is actually why I started this business in the first place.
Yeah. Who should be worried?
Who should be worried? Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. He's going to live forever now, isn't he? Like, that's the thing. Like, he's never going to leave. But I think there's definitely certain jobs that are, you know, I've got friends who work in them, they're definitely concerned as well.
Yeah,
but,
I can see it,
Yeah.
and it is terrifying, you know, and it's sad as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you think that, you know, a lot of people spend years training for things or getting educated on a certain thing so that they can start working in a certain sector or start a business in a certain field, and for that for the rug just to be pulled underneath. That's really sad.
Yeah. But then it's like use them or lose them, and I'm pretty sure that if it saves you time and money, people are going to keep going down that road. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, you could even upload like a contract to ChatGPT and be like, "This is a good contract. Tell me the pros and cons of it."
But always check it though as well. Not that I would be able to check a legal contract, but like I do feel like you have to check what it brings out. Like, so
for sure. Yeah.
Do you know, some
people
don't. This is the thing. You see something like you know, like using the long hyphens thing and the emojis here as an example. It's like that is literally like, okay, this is what I want. Great, here you go. Bomb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, have you not even looked at that?
I saw a post, right? We'll finish up on this. I saw a post where it was everything, emojis, the small, like, what do you call it, the hyphen, whatever,
like the long hyphen,
yeah, long hyphen
that don't exist.
And then even at the end of the post, it was like, DM me the word guide and I'll send it over. And then underneath it was a sentence saying, "Please let me know if you want me to say this in a more expert way."
No, no. Oh my!
So I was just
God.
like, you just literally copied and pasted the whole thing. Didn't delete like the top, because it kind of says like, "Oh, here's what I put up for you." And at the end, it's always like, "Do you want me to say it in a more professional way, casual way?" And it said that. I was just like, dude, so painful.
That's really painful.
Yeah, and surely if I saw that, surely a potential customer's going to see that and be like, "I'm not working with that guy."
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see how it goes anyway. But we're all right, I think.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button and get yourself that free bundle. The middle ground method.
Middle ground method.
Yeah. The middle ground method is called. So it's all free. Check it out. Appreciate it, guys.